Hey guys, vlog time again. So I'm holding my camera on my camera stick. It's a little wobbly, I'm sorry. I'll try to minimize that. Anyway, so I just got back from the park and I had a few more things to talk about. I just realized there was a couple things I missed, but I went ahead and got the brisket out, even though it was a little bit early. Not quite done yet, but close. It was good. It was really good. A little bit tough still, just a tiny bit. But you gotta keep cooking it till it gets tender. Let's see. Went ahead and started working on my printer. Printing off some more of my notebook pages so I can make more notebooks. And then, that part is going pretty nicely. The color on it, like, something's going on with the red ink. It's not printing out the reds, and for some reason it's not really doing grays. I don't know if it's like, because it goes through, every time you say to print, it'll go through like multiple little print screens. You have to go here to change the settings, and then you can print from it, or, you know, change the settings, and then go into another box, and you can print from there, or change some more settings, and then you go into another box. And I think that's part of whatever's going on, and that was the HP Smart Print, so that's like really freaking annoying. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to going to the coffee shop for my 3-day planathon. Coffee shop planathon. I'm going to be doing that, just to try to have some time to focus on the planners. Like, I had them up at the park with me, but then my phone went down to 4%. I was like, I thought I was going to delete the video, but I managed to get that finished, kind of, before it was over with. This is like, TikTok, no! That's what I was feeling. Anyway, so I'm working on getting those done. Right now I told it to print 180. I've got some pages that I've got the white backs to. I'm gonna have to do that again. Let's see. I wanted to do more bookmarks, but those take forever to print. And then also I've got like a new planner page that I'll be adding to the ones I make from now on that have like a blank annual spread or whatever. So you'll have the title page, which says my notebook or something like that. And then you'll open it up and you'll have a spread for calendar, and then another spread because it's a mid-size. It's like a little bit bigger than this. It's like twice this, 4 times this. It's like 4 of these. Yeah, these are small. It's like 4 of these put together, like around. Almost a classic size Happy Planner, but like thinner. Anyway, let's see. I was going to, like I said, print more bookmarks, but that took forever, so I went ahead and worked on the planner page for that. Oh, the back side of that. The back side, once you get past the planner, is like a little task list, and then the rest of them are going to be the internals. But every single one of them, I have it say 7bloodfire.com at the very bottom of the page, like really light. So that way there's a way for me to be able to still make some cells. And I thought about maybe adding like a QR code on one of the pages that get inserted to them so that they can just scan and go to the website or whatever. Not really sure yet, being that it's something that I designed and then turn around and I have the printer and the equipment to be able to make the notebooks, and they're fully handmade. I might do that. I'm not really sure, but I can change that at any time, and there's no ISBN issue or anything because it doesn't have ISBNs. So let's see. So I've got the bookmarks. Oh, speaking of the bookmarks, I've got them in my hand. I have posted this recently and I've shown them, but like every time I look at them, these things are so freaking cute. These are my newest ones. This is Rain Cat, and I have the art print, but I love these. Like, oh my gosh, it's so adorable. So adorable. Oh man, I want to do another one. But, like I said, some of my art prints are not printing right. So, like, even the paper isn't printing right, but it is still lined, so it's okay if that one's off a little bit. Like, the mostly green prints, like, this one seemed to be okay. And the fully red one, like, full red and black, and then just little bits of blue and yellow, those seem to print okay. But anything that is like mostly like a bluish color and it's supposed to have some teals or some other shades of red in it, if it's blue dominant, it's not working. It's not doing it right. So there's something going on with the printer and the programming, and it's very upsetting. But what else did I have on my list? I know I was talking about some other stuff, and I saw that I had rewritten the vlog page, the list, in blue, and I forgot about that. I did that last night, but I forgot about that because I have the memory of a goldfish. Yeah, I was like, wait, there were some things on here that I didn't actually talk about. Oh my god. What an idiot. Anyway, so yeah, no, ADHD moment. I am sitting here. This is in my bedroom, but I don't want to show the rest of my house or the rest of my bedroom because it's a mess. And like, I've got my equipment out over there, and some of it's stacked up in weird ways and not very nice looking at all. But at least this shelf is like really cute. And like this background is kind of cute. It's really cute. Like, I like it. It's adorable. It's not all the way done, but I mean, I've had this sitting here and I can actually tolerate looking at this. So I was like, well, maybe if I just pull up my chair to that, use that as a temporary background, that'll kind of work. It's not great lighting. I wanted to plug my lamp in there and then shine it over at me so I had some nice light, but my printer's plugged into it and I already have it printing. Go figure. And any other lamp is not going to shine as bright as that one. Plus, it would be a hassle and a half to try to dig underneath and around everything to get to the cords that I had wrapped around behind everything and under everything so they weren't seen. And yeah. Oh man, effort. Who likes it? So, let's see, writing Carrie's latest. I already talked about that on the other vlog. There was a section under recent conversations and commentary. I completely forgot, and this was one of the things that I was going to talk about. I was like, oh, random. There was this thing on TikTok I saw about this lady talking about kid behavior and gentle parenting, and I'm like, this is very controversial, but I'm okay with spanking as long as it don't go overboard. Like, don't go overboard. And I was on there making all these comments, like, I'm a troll, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? I need to shut up. And I'm just open, and like, I never ever ever mean anything rudely. So even when I'm texting, I'll put a lot and I over text. Like, in 2 seconds I can type 10 paragraphs. Even in phone, like, I don't shorten it. As you noticed, I love to talk. Yeah, no, I was on there and I was like, oh my god, gentle parenting. Like, it's all great and dandy until you get a Hellion for a child. It doesn't always work, I can promise you, because I was one that did not work on. Oh man, like, I went through the hell and the ringer and all that other, whatever verbiage or terminology or jargon you want to give it. None of that worked on me. Starting off, I was a very violent child. No discipline. We ran around. My mom would try to chase us and be like, get back to the house. And we'd be running all over the neighborhoods. And there was a place called The Projects. This was in Lawton along. This is like 30 years ago almost. No, it was 30 years ago. 31 years ago. Yeah, I'm getting old. Anyway, I and my brothers were running around, and we would crawl all over the tractors and everything else, and we would play with them. We couldn't start them up, but we tried to hotwire them, even with me only being 5. We were like, let's figure out how to start it. We were evil. Oh, man. Criminals in the making, almost. I'm glad I didn't become one, but... Oh, man, I could have. Glad things lined up just right. Really glad. Anyway, so, like, originally, the reason why we did all that was because my mom used to take us to the creeks and we'd go catch crawdads, and she taught us how to, cook crawdads and stuff, and she would cook and all that and have us help her, and, like, we ate some weird shit and some gross shit, and canned or otherwise, it didn't matter. We ate anything. Like, I remember, one of the grossest things I will say is grossest now, because back then it wasn't, but now I'm like, nope, thanks. Canned oysters. I remember digging through the cupboard just because I was hungry and I wanted something, and my mom was like, if you're hungry, just grab something canned and open it up and eat it. And she's like, I am not cooking, because we had dinner already coming along, but I was hungry. And I was always digging in the cupboard. I was skinny, but I was hungry. And I dug down there, and I remember getting the oysters, and I was like, I love oysters, and I opened them up, and I was just eating them straight out of the can. They weren't even heated up or nothing. I just, even the thought of that now, I'm like, oh, nasty. Nasty. And then, like, sauerkraut, loved sauerkraut, and then, like, it was so sour, but then I loved it. Like, I loved the lemon airheads. The first time I had those, oh man, I'd be like 5 of them in my mouth, and I'd be like, it's so good. And then raspberry. What are they called? The one with the Tootsie Roll in the middle. Yeah, those things. Like lollipop, whatever. I think there's like a blow pops. Yeah, the raspberry blow pops, not the lollipops. The one with the gum. Oh, I love those. I still love those to this day. Those are my favorite. And I had a brother that tried to tell me that they were made out of skunk gland. And I was like, you're an idiot, and I'm not that gullible, and also, screw you. You can't, nothing's gonna take me off of that raspberry flavor. I love that raspberry flavor. But yeah, no. I was that kid that did, I'd pick up gum off the sidewalk and eat it. I mean, like, I was 4, 3. Like, I have early memories. I still remember when I was being rolled around in the stroller with my little sister. But, and I got mad whenever they wouldn't let me anymore. Oh, God. I still remember when I sucked on the pacifier all the time. Jeez, like, my mom kept telling me, that's gonna ruin your teeth, that's gonna ruin your teeth. And she's like, you're gonna have big, wide apart teeth. Well, good prediction, Mom. Thumb sucking and pacifiers. Yep. Came permanent. And I hate my teeth. I wish I would have listened, but anyway. Oh man, I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, kids' behavior. I had to look. Goldfish memory. I'm like a squirrel. Anyway, the kid parenting. I was like, oh lady, you've never had a Hellion child. We had no routine. Like, she had kind of a routine, but then she got sick, and it was harder, and my dad went to jail and all that stuff. But when we were first put into foster care, nobody could control us. Like, they had to split us up into different homes because it was too much. My sister and I went one way, my brothers and they went another way, and then, like, they ended up in a shitty home that ended up with, like, a lot of neglect and really terrible conditions, and I wish it had never happened to them. But my sister and I, together for a while in one home, and then split apart because, well, they didn't want me because I was older and, you know, a little heathen. More so than my little sister. And it was easier for them, just the one kid that they preferred. So I went off to other homes, and, like, I'll tell you, they put me on Adderall, they put me on Ritalin, they tried so many medications, and almost nothing helped. And I would have counselor after counselor after counselor, and I was that kid at school that would be ripping my hair out in big chunks. I had bald patches because I get so mad. I'm like, ah! And then hurt myself, and then go after other people. Oh man. Yeah, I would self-harm and then woof, attack. It was bad. But yeah, no, even with foster care, like, I was in a really, really good Christian home, and those were the most amazing people that I ever had, was when I lived in Medill. And I miss them, but I don't even know if they're alive anymore, because, you know, my adoptive family had cut me off from ever being able to talk to them after, like, you know, even just a few months of staying there. They got it to where I wasn't able to talk to them anymore. I used to send letters and stuff in the mail, and it was amazing. But, yeah, no, those people were one of the best homes that I ever had, and I actually went from being insanely crazy and undisciplined over the course of, like, 3.5 years living with them. I was starting to level out. And, like, they had me in Christian programs, and, like, I remember whenever my, foster mom, she was speaking in tongues. They were Baptist, but she'd be, every time she prayed, she'd be like, blah, 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 speaking in tongues, and I'm like, I don't believe in that, but I mean, I mean, that's to everybody their own. But I wanted it so bad that I started faking speaking in tongues too. I was like, oh my god, I understand now. I was so wrong. I was like, hey, little idiot running around. And I was like, I have no idea, but maybe one day I will. I just gotta keep at it. Oh man. So I ended up running to every time I was at church, whenever I fell in love with piano, I would sneak out of church, and they had like 12 pianos across this entire church, and this is part of my Hellion-hood. So I had to kind of give you a little taste of how wild I was. I would sneak out, and then they would have to drag me back in. And then I would sneak out, go find a piano, and I wasn't smart enough to realize that even if you hit it lightly, they could hear it anywhere in the church. But I became obsessed. So they ended up giving me like a little piano for Christmas, and then my foster sister sprayed water on it, and then they got me a new one, but it was a crappy one, and I was like, ah. But yeah, no, that was some of that. That was actually when this happened. I've had people ask me about this, and in my last like official job, I never told people. I would like make random stuff up because it wasn't none of their business, because you don't want prisoners knowing your business. But yeah, no, this was from a pit bull. We had a friend that had his family had dogs on one side, and then their neighbor had a dog in between there, like 2 dogs on the other side. Those were scarier, but we always wanted to go down to the friend's house that had the trampoline, and yeah, no, that chain snapped. We were going around on the one side instead of going through the creek, and that chain snapped, and he got me. I never felt it, like, during the healing process, when he was in the middle of biting, none of it. I could feel the flesh being pulled forward, and him going, and, yanking and stuff, but, I mean, yeah, no, I was lucky. And the paws hurt, though, but the rest of it didn't. I remember when I came home, Jesus, my foster mom, she's like, where have you been? I didn't know I was hanging down. Oh my god! She ran back in the house. I blinked and she was gone, and I blinked and she was back and shoving like a whole roll of paper towels in my face. She told me to hold it and ran me to the hospital. Oh man, like it was soaked through by the time I got to the hospital. That was funny. I was all over the place. We were playing with fire and all the things that children should not be doing. And like, no, it was fine. It was my childhood, and it made me roundabout, and like, okay. They were doing okay, but like, whenever I found out that another family wanted to adopt me, and I finally got seeing my other family members again, I started acting up again, and like, I was a thief. I was fighting everybody. Like, there was one kid that called me a brat, and I had like a new pencil in my hand that had never ever been sharpened before. He called me a brat, and I was like, ah! He turned around. He's like, you brat, turn around. I was like, ah! I skinned his back, like, yeah, about from here to the bottom of the screen. It was about 12 inches all the way down his back. I mean, it was the entire length of it, and like, I feel bad now because I changed as a person, thank God. But as a kid, I had zero remorse. Zero. I didn't give a crap about anything anybody said. I mean, I didn't think, didn't consider. So, like, there was so many times I'd be in the corner time and all these other things, and it never worked. And one time my foster mother had slapped me because I was mouthing off and being rude. And this is all before I was 9, or all before I was 10. This is between 6 and 9, or let's see, it would have been, yeah, I think it was between 6 and 9, because 4 and 5, or 5 to 6, I'd been in foster care elsewhere. And, yeah, no, so that was insane. And, yeah, nope. Oh, we would be throwing rocks at houses that had wasp nests, breaking the windows. I was a monster, and I am not proud of it. I mean, memories, some of it's funny and some of it's not, but as an adult, I can apologize to the people that we were. Luckily, the house we broke the windows on, nobody lived there, but still, it was somebody's property in one right. We were trying to get the wasp, though. Yeah, no, so there was fighting all the time, and like, just, I had no emotional regulation, no emotional control. Like, even when I was living with my real mom, she didn't want to spank us because it broke her heart. She cried because we were crying at the thought of getting spanked. And she'd had to have my dad do it, and he wasn't around that much because he was a truck driver. So when he did come home, it maybe. But yeah, so there was no real discipline. And then whenever I had found out while in foster care about maybe getting adopted by people that had my other family members, they ended up having to put me in a mental hospital because I was super crazy, upset, all over the place, behavioral disciplines and issues. No, I had a blast there. It was very fun because it's a children's mental hospital, not for adults. And they had it all separated out. And this was at Shadow Mountain. And I don't know how things changed over the years, but this was like a long time ago. They had the teenagers separated, boys on one side, girls on one side. And then they had the kids were kind of all over the place because, you know, as you get older, these things happen. But the kids were kept separate. And we had rooms where we would share. Like, it didn't matter which gender. We'd all be mixed up for the kids. And then we had the bigger rooms. The smaller rooms would be like maybe 2 people to a room, maybe up to 4. The big room would have like 30 to 60 kids. And I couldn't handle all that. And my mom, she had schizophrenia, or I believe was schizophrenia. Like, she'll say it's religious stuff. But, you know, I'm more science-minded, and I think that it's not so much visions. These are my opinions. So, like, if you're religious and you believe in all that, that's okay. I'm open-minded to it, but I'm also more logic-based and science-based in my thinking. So, like, I'm, you know, I can see how it could be either or both. But for me, I believe it's more schizophrenia. And she had us kind of traumatized. She didn't mean to, but to this day, I can't walk by a door in the dark. If the door's open, I have to close it because my skin starts crawling and it feels like there's something watching me. And I've had so many nightmares over it, and like, yeah, I mean, it makes for good writing, and it's definitely affected my writing. I've put some of the creatures that I've dreamed of or like feel like are there because of that whole paranoia thing that came from core childhood memories. I put that in my writing. But yeah, no, the stuff that we went through with that carried over into while I was at the mental hospital, and I couldn't handle being around other people that I didn't know for some reason. I don't know why, but it was too much. At nighttime was the worst for me, and it always has been. Nighttime it's terrifying because it's not just nighttime, it's nighttime with all of your core childhood memories of someone being schizophrenic who's telling you about all the demons that are in the closets and under the beds and that will come and get you, and that stays. It stays, and it is something that has always haunted me. But I used to sneak out of that room and go into the main lobby where we had all the toys and stuff, and I'd crawl under the bench where it was nice and cool, where there was no feeling of other people or other presences. There was a little bit more lighting because the main area in the middle that separated the two sides, the main area in the middle, the light was brighter. But I would sneak out there under that. They would never catch me. It would be after they saw me on the monitor, and then they'd come and get me by the time I'm already starting to doze, because as soon as I got out there and laid my head down, I was already dozing because I was so tired. And they'd come and get me and drag me, and I'd be screaming and crying, and they ended up having to... There were several times they had to take me to the padded room. But I had fun in there. They had soft walls. I had one of my friends there that I had met told me, hey, if you want to make them mad and prove to them that, you know, the padded room don't do nothing to you, just have fun in there, because you can punch the walls and it won't hurt. It's really fun. You should try it. You can throw yourself at them and you'll just bounce off. And I was like, okay. So I did. I was like, you can't make me stop, man. And then I'd run full tilt at a wall and hit it and fall down and get up and do it again on the other side. And I'd be like, da-da-da-da, kicking on the walls. And I'd be like, nah. And like, I get a little tired. And then I'd see them sliding. I'm like, F you. And then start doing it again. I lasted for like 2 or 3 hours in there. Every time they slid the bolt, that just gave me a new energy. And I had to close it back. She ain't ready yet. Well, they ended up having to start putting me in the brick room, and I would bang my head on the wall still. It hurt too much, so it was a little difficult to keep up, and the floor hurt too much, but I'd be screaming and crying and everything whenever I had my meltdowns. And at one point, I had a big enough episode, they ended up having to, like, 8 adults holding me down to put a straitjacket on me, and because I was still fighting them, they had to give me a shot in the butt to sedate me to get the straitjacket on. And then finally they managed to get the straitjacket on, but I was still fighting them, so it still took 3 of them to try to get me into the brick room. And then, man, I screamed and cried for probably about an hour until I fell asleep. And then I think I was asleep probably about 10 minutes. It may have been a little longer. It wasn't a strong sedative. It was just something to calm me down. And I was still angry, though. And they kept sliding that bolt. And there again, every time they did that for at least, I think it was about 25 times or more, they would slide it, check on me, and I act up. And then it was finally those last 5 times, or 8 times, whatever, that they were checking. They were just seeing how much longer is she going to be quiet and soothed and whatever, pacified. And yeah, it was finally good. But no, the only reason I got out of there is because I just got tired of being there. I was like, you know what, I'm going to go home. I'm tired. I'm going to go home. I was having fun because we had like zip lines and ball pits and all kinds of things. Like, we'd stand the mats up and be throwing those little ball pit balls at each other. We had teams and we were trying to get people tagged out or whatever. It was fun. But God, I'm sharing a lot of information I don't usually talk about with anybody. Now everybody's gonna know all the crazy crap. I've been on fire, I've been ripped open, I've been stabbed, I've been cut open, I've had things almost crush my head in, which is why I got this scar on this one. Oh, let's see, I had a turtle try to bite my hand off. Bee sting, wasp sting, yeah, a lot of that's normal shit. But, oh no, it was funny. Like, there's so much in my childhood. My life is almost like a book on its own. It's got all the fun backstory that, like, some of it's traumatizing, and it's got all that. And then it's got, like, this person that wants to achieve somebody, which is perfectly in line with the book, and goes through hell, but still always looks positive. And then freedom, and then starts to grow as a person, and then massive, like, black moment, dark night of the soul kind of stuff. And then, you know, there again, the goal slightly changes, but overall stays, you know, still wants that future and still wants to work toward it, and, like, continues going. And I'm hoping that I can actually finish it out. You know, my own story life, I'm hoping I finish it out and it actually works the way it's supposed to. So far it hasn't, but I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go anyway and try it anyway. That's the whole med school thing I'm wanting to do. So, it's insane. But, anyway, all the way back to the, story, the kid behavior and gentle parenting thing. I was like, you know, I went into, after I got adopted, they would try to talk to me. And before that, I had so many counselors that would just try to talk to me, and it never changed anything. Like, I would think about it, and sometimes, like, especially with after adoption, the gaslighting and the cruelty and everything, all of that would sink in here. But in the moment, because I have serotonin deficiency? I don't know, whatever causes the ADHD. It's very, very strong. And I have that dopamine and serotonin search that, like, I can't start stuff and I can't stop stuff. So, like, if I do finally manage to start, I'm gonna go all the way through, and, like, all time does not exist. And, like, if my brain is in the mode where everything distracts me, like, I can't start. If it's in the mode where I don't pick up on anything else, then that is all consuming. Like, there's one or the other. That's it. And you can probably tell from the conversation here, or vlog, whatever, that I am all over the place. My mind goes to 1,000 places and loops everything back. My husband can't keep up with me. He's like, stop asking so many questions! And I'm like, I just ask you two. You've been awake for like 3 hours, dude. Like, move! What are you, a mummy? Live! Think! Come on! I want a conversation! Anyway, the whole family situation I had was, the talking never worked, but once it became, like, they believed in corporal punishment, where you get the spankings, and, like, they went overboard with it. Yeah, way overboard. It didn't start that way, though. And, sorry, I was looking at my printer. I'm like, crap, I had a squirrel moment. I don't know if it's blinking or not, but I think it just finished printing the 180 pages I told it to. Anyway, it was after things started turning very physical and, like, prolonged with the gaslighting and the emotional manipulation and the crushing way that I was told how bad of a person I was and how useless and worthless, and just over and over and over. Like, they'd brag to other people, but when it actually came to us, it was never really constructive. It was more basically the raising. I'm trying to talk about it carefully. The raising was done in a way where their traumas and their issues interfered with their stressors interfered with their ability to consider the consequences, and then a lot of other things happened. But the verbal stuff did a lot more damage and all that than the actual physical punishments did. And over time, that accumulated. So this whole gentle parenting thing, if you don't know how to do it right, you really, really, really need to consult some sort of professional that knows what they're actually talking about, because you can talk to a child all you want and give them all these choices. For kids with ADHD, I feel like you're going to end up crippling them with decision making if you give them 2 choices or even 1. Like, you try to give them time to be like, hey, do you want to do this in 10 minutes or 5 minutes? I'm like, that. If a kid is like I was, a Hellion plus ADHD, they're not only gonna push on, like, their serotonin thing, they're not gonna be able to stop, but they're also gonna whine and cry or throw a fit or a whole tantrum about it's not fair, even at the idea that it's gonna have to, whatever they're doing is gonna have to stop because they're gonna have to go to bed or get ready or do this or do that. Like, kids are manipulative. So, like, on one hand, corporal punishment can go too far, but on the other hand, the other stuff does damage too. And I was like, man. So that was, like, one of the things I was talking about on, like, my recent conversations and commentary where I overshare. And then, like I'm not ashamed, but then I'm like, I really shouldn't be. Like, logically, I probably should not be sharing everything. Like, it's almost an autism level trauma dump. It's so bad. I'm so bad at it. But it's like, I don't really care, because me as a person, a lot of things I didn't do wrong. Me talking about what happened to me, I did not do wrong. So why should I be ashamed of it? Why should I hide it? And like, that's where I have the struggle of, well, there's a level of professionalism that comes after a certain point of like being open, and then there is a certain point, there's a lot of people that can't handle listening to stuff like that, and like, it just goes on and on. I'm like, oh my gosh. And the more I think about it, it's like, I need to get a handle on this so that I become more professional and am a better role model. But then there's also the side of, I know that as a person who's prone to talking, which was a big part of why a lot of things happened to me that shouldn't have, because I tend to tell the truth and I can't stop, like, being honest, and it will drive a lot of people off. And the good part is that, I mean, other people can relate and they realize, oh, well, now I know I'm not alone. And I mean, that feels good, because we know other people can get through trauma and can do better and stuff. So like, that's also part of why I struggle with, okay, you need to tone it down a notch, but also, really, should I? Because I'm not ever trying to go out and attack other people and be like, oh, well, this happened and you're a bad person and it's because of this person here. Like, I'm never trying to call people out, but I do want to share experiences, because there's a whole mental health aspect, and I don't want people to feel alone. And I do like the honesty and the openness that comes with, and the healing that comes with sharing, you know? So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm a writer, is because I love communicating with people. And I always struggled. I used to, I couldn't be around 5 people and be able to look any of them in the eye without trembling, or try to speak without my voice breaking. Like, I couldn't even, 5 people was too much. If I was in the same room as a male, my whole body was like cringing inward. Especially if it was an adult male. Like, I couldn't handle it. It was hard. And I would mask. And I tried my best to be positive and happy. And like, even today, that's just part of my personality, is to do that, regardless of how happy or unhappy I am. I'm a giggly person. Like, I can joke and all the time, and like, I'm goofy. I'm klutzy. I'm an idiot, and I'm just straight up laugh at myself and, you know, self-deprecate over it. I'm like, okay, I don't care. But used to it was very hard. I had a whole lot of stuff that led to severe PTSD. Like, for a long time, I couldn't. The sound of a doorknob, if I was asleep, the sound of a doorknob from across the room, even if it was slightly turned very quietly, I'd wake up out of a dead sleep in a cold sweat and be panting with my heart racing. If I saw a hydrangea, I'd have nightmares for a month. If I saw like this, you know, a couple of other things, I don't know, if I saw a couple of other things or heard like a specific sentence or whatever, I would have a lot of issues for a long period of time. And like, to this day, this has been 30 years, and to this day, I still have certain issues that just go all over again. So, like, I'm one of those, I will never say that corporal punishment is perfectly okay, but I also say that this gentle parenting thing, a lot of people will turn it into gaslighting and manipulation, and just, you can make a person feel really bad about themselves by doing talking only. And like, honestly, you cripple people, because they don't have that full stop of, okay, well, this, I can just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and throw a fit and whine and cry and waste everybody's time and all that. Whereas that is almost more traumatic in certain senses than if you're just full stop, okay, there's a consequence there and I need to respect it. Because I didn't stop with my violent stuff, my outbursts, until I started receiving that. And I finally was like, I was told, if you have to, we give them permission at school to give you a busting, and if you get one there, we will give you one when you get home. And I'm like, okay, blah, blah, blah. And like, I would still get into fights, and then slowly over time, plus the other, you know, extra, as it got more and more strict as time went on, I finally got to a point of, I don't want an extra busting when I get home. And I remember the day that I first made my decision not to try to get into a physical altercation with some of the other kids that were on my school bus. I remember the first day that I ever stepped down. And like, this is a long time ago. This is like 20 years ago for this one. I was in like, it might have been a little bit longer, but I was in middle school or maybe 5th or 6th grade. I think it was just right before mid school. I remember the day that I stepped back and was like, I don't want the consequences. Because if it was just talking, I would not have responded to it. It was later on after that what truly changed me as a person and made me a better person was later on realizing I don't want to be like my other family members. I don't want to be anything like them. I want to be a kind and good person, and I want to think about other people and try to make them feel better. And, you know, as I became a writer, that was one of the things that I explored and became autism level obsessed with. Like, okay, the reason I say that, and I'm not trying to steal the word autism, a lot of people have that to an extent. But the reason I say that is because I had environmental factors that related to the ADHD. You know, there are certain things that I do that are kind of autistic-ish. But the obsession, 17 years on the same freaking story. It wasn't perfect. I would write it and it would be trash. Like, it taken away from me and trashed and mocked and all this other stuff. And that would rip my heart out and my soul out. And then I tried not to, and then I'd go back to it because it's core wiring for me. For a lot of autistic people, including my husband, there's some sort of a hyper focus for them. For my husband, it's collecting figures. He's done that since he was young, and there are certain other things, like he gets sensory overload and can't handle certain things. But he doesn't have like the tics or anything. He'll twiddle his beard, that's about it. But mine, like, I've never been able to move on, and yet now with some other stuff, like, I've got other things that's been going on that has kept me from getting back to it, even though I've got part of the next one's plotted. It's the same story. Even whenever I threw it all away and decided to start over, it's the same story. That story has been with me longer in my life than any other family member I've had around. And, like, I've never finished it. I had scrapped everything, rewritten to where it includes elements from the old, but yeah, it's the same one, and, like, I can't give her up. And I've had people say, give up, stop beating the dead horse, move on. And I'm like, I can't. So that's why I was saying that. Anyway, so all that being done, that was one of my things that I was like, so I was making comments on the video, and I'm like, I gotta stop replying to people's videos and, like, just spending and wasting time and just making paragraphs of commentary. I can just get on YouTube or something and make a vlog or whatever. Anyway, one of the other things that recently was, I just joined Fiverr for the first time to maybe try to make some money for my beta reading, my proofreading, and my illustration. And then also, what was it? There was something else I added in there. I forgot what it was. There's 4 of them. Oh my goodness. I didn't add in the copy editing though, even though I got the experience on that. The other stuff I've done a long time anyway. But yeah, I finally got on Fiverr, set up my account, and then, like, I had 2 people contact me, and I was excited at first, but I was like, wait a minute. They were sending, I want y'all to know this too if you're on Fiverr, they were sending screenshots. They were like, hey, we were trying to fill out and set an order. What you have is exactly what we need. They didn't say what it was, which, whatever. And then the screenshot was not the full thing, which would have showed that it was my gig. It only showed just part of the checkout screen, and then it was on the part where it had their card number already typed in, but their PIN number and their other number was marked out. And instead of card holder name, which is always the next one, it said seller's email. Really? Like, really? And I was like, But their text that they sent with it was, hey, like, I want to purchase this from you, and you have exactly what I need, but it's asking for more information, so I just wanted to contact you and see if you could help me with that. And then the other one was like, I just need to know some more details first. And like, it was the same image, except for like the blackout was on a slightly different. Like they sent it out in mass, and then each one of them had to, had the assignment of marking it out and then sending it. But man, I was like, that doesn't seem right, because Fiverr, you're supposed to keep your communications on platform. Like, Editor's a little bit different. I only use Google Drive. So the link I'll have you send me is not your email address. It's going to be the link of the file that you share in Google Drive. And I will put the commentary and stuff on it, because I don't do the files like Word docs or whatever else, because I'm not going to risk either one of us getting viruses from each other. I'm not going to do that, which is why I use Google Drive. So I will copy the document, put it over into another Google Drive document that I only have access to, do all of my stuff there, and then put the final commentary over on the main one. And then also I'll send an extra link to like a side notes or whatever. And like, that's how I want to work. I'm not gonna, I mean, it's not really for commenting, even though on Google Drive, on the actual document there, you can type whatever. But Google Drive, Google, they scan anything you upload, and that's why I'm like, just have it on Google. If there's an issue, that'll catch it, because Fiverr's not going to scan your documents and check to make sure that there's no viruses and stuff. And the guy that I worked with on Readsy, the editor there, when I was doing the Violet Curse, after I had copy edited it, I sent him part of it, and just to see if my workflow worked that I had built out for it, so that I could do in-house stuff. He said it was good. There was just very few things. It was the cleanest thing he'd gotten in his whole 20 years of doing that. But that guy, I had to do the sending him the actual document and that going back and forth, and I was uncomfortable with it. But I mean, I had to take the risk, because that was moving forward. I don't want to take the risk or put anybody in that situation where they could risk computer viruses. So, yeah, there was that. And then I looked up the possibility of the whole little screenshot that they were sending of the checkout screen. I looked that up to see if that was a scam, and it took me a minute, but I did finally find, and yes, it is a scam. I looked at the actual checkout screen, and it says cardholder's name there. And there's no place on that checkout screen where it asks you for the seller's email. So if you are on Fiverr, or you're thinking about going to Fiverr, or even to other platforms, look for that and be very careful and avoid it. I reported them immediately and blocked them. But yeah, it wasn't okay. Anyway, let's see. Oh yeah, just as a reminder for anyone near McAllister, Oklahoma, I'm going to be at the Expo Center there. It's the Southeast Expo Center, on, I think, George Nye Highway. Anyway, I'm going to be there on February 8th. There is a bougie sailors event, whatever, that's going on. It's little pop-up shops, and I'm going to be there as an author and an artist. And like, I've got all kinds of stuff. I'd love to even chat with y'all and kind of hang out or whatever if y'all want to stop up there. I think we may end up having about 50 or more vendors. The last one was real slow, but it was nice. It was fun, and it was warm inside, and I loved it. That was only my second event that I've ever gone to as a vendor. The first one was at Hollows Con, and they were thinking about not coming back, or at least not for a Hollows Con. They were thinking about doing away with that because it's not working. But I think some of the issue was the charging people the entrance fee. I think she was right about that, because I was talking to the lady that did the other event, but then hers was equally slow. So it's just something that's going to have to build over time, and people not, just walk out and quit on. But that's expensive, trying to be a host over something that's new. I mean, overall, later on, it can be really successful, but it's expensive starting off. Yeah, I'm going to be out there, so y'all have to look for me. It's going to be awesome. And then, let's see what else. Oh, yeah, I got a Christmas mug. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to go grab that mug. Okay, so I'll show you the other gift first. I had a friend that got me this. It's amazing. I'm so happy. It's a audio stream sound mixer, and like some of these are weird, but overall the whole thing's gonna be awesome to use. I think it's gonna be fun. I can't use it on my laptop right now, which is what I'm really mad about, but I might be able to use it on my main computer once I get it opened up and checked to see if the graphics card on it's not corrupted. But yeah, so this is awesome, and if he's watching this, thank you. It's amazing. Anyway, my coffee mug that I got was, it's not the one that I wanted, and I got it for myself, so I mean, it was like I could have got what I wanted, but I'm not going to order anything off, and this was on sale. My main one, it was a kitty mug, and it had broken. The cats knocked it off, and I have marble tile on my desk. They knocked it off, and it broke, and I was upset. And I was trying to find a replacement. I couldn't find anything even close to what it was, and size and all. And I finally was like, you know what? I'm gonna kind of get something as a little bit of an ode to one of the other YouTubers that I watched a lot of for a while. And I try not to watch too much of her stuff because then I start feeling like comparisonitis really, really bad. But yeah, Heart Breathing Sarah Cannon, she loves Hello Kitty, and she's always talking about like really positive stuff, and then healing and planner stuff, because she does her own planners, and I tried her planners. I don't really like them. I mean, I could see the appeal and the use, but it's tedious. It's extremely tedious. Like I've done the Kanban stuff since before I knew it was called Kanban. I used to use Trello for it, and I had like walls and all that other stuff, and like I ended up coming across her channel and was like, oh my gosh, she does it too, yes! And then like she knows the language of what everything's called, and I was like, okay. So I got really deep into watching her stuff, and then I started feeling like crap about, you know, how far I've gotten. And like I've been working on planners for a long time. I was working on the other stuff for a long time, and she's already made millions of dollars off of her books and all that other stuff. And I'm only 10 years younger than her or so, and like I've been working on this stuff since I was 17, and I've gotten nowhere, and I've maybe sold 54 books total, and I don't have the money for marketing, and I also don't have a husband who can support me through anything, and like it sucks, and I feel really bad, and it makes me want to cry, because I could have been, if I would just been able to let go of the story that I obsessed for so long, I could have had so much more done. And now I'm going to college, so I don't know how it's going to go with the writing. And then there's going to be med school, which means there's going to be no time for writing, and I'm going to be very exhausted, working 90 hours, you know, school 80 to 90 hours plus working. It's going to be insane. And like, it makes me worry that I did everything for nothing, but I got this little Hello Kitty cup at Walmart, and it was cute. But the reason I went ahead and got this was as a reminder of, number one, don't self-compare, but number two, appreciate the things of value and the things that actually heal you. And like, even if you can't keep them close, it's a reminder that, you know, it's okay to take a breath. It's okay to keep working on the things you love and to be passionate. And, you know, it's a reminder that you don't have to have comparisonitis, but you can have other people as role models. And if they can do it, I can do it too. So that's why I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and get this. Like, I wasn't going to, because we don't have much money to spend. We're broke. We might have enough money for 1 month of bills. And it's dwindling, but yeah, so I went ahead and got this for me, and I'm gonna have to wait on getting my hubby's present. I have an idea, but oh wait, no, he said don't, because he already got it. Yeah, he spent $60 on figures. I wish it would have spent like 20, but yeah, he spent quite a bit. There goes Christmas, birthday, anniversary, and next Christmas. I'm mean. Anyway, I'll be a biatch. I'll tell her, I'll crack that whip and say no. Anyway, oh man, I'm gonna have to get a job. I've been applying and nobody's hiring me. And like the Walmart, like I was one of their best employees. I got all kinds of awards and stuff while I was there and saved them $30,000 with all the stuff that I was able to fix. And like I did so much there, and like they're not wanting to hire me? What? That was like 10, 15 years ago, and I did all that, and now they're not wanting to hire me? What? Oh, man. And then the hospital, I was trying to get hired on over there, and because I used to work there as a floor tech, and they're wanting to lowball me so bad. But honestly, we only have $100 extra, and I need to put some money in the account for whenever I go to college, because I'll be taking out nothing but student loans, and if I can get scholarships and stuff, yeah. I'll be able to get 40 grand in scholarships over the period of, you know, what, 4 years plus? I don't know. The whole possibility across all 8 years of college would be possibly $40,000 in Pell Grants. So I might be able to get that much to lower the entire $350,000 worth of possible student loans that I'd need. And then for transferring in, because I'd be considered as a transfer student with my existing credit, I will have to do, I could get maybe $6,000 for the transfer scholarship. And that is to be split across 4 years. Really? That's it? Anyway, I don't remember what else I had to talk about, but it's almost been an hour for me to get my notebook. Oh man. Yeah, I was talking about positive mindset promises last time, where change your language, change your life, basically. I was talking about that, and I'm looking forward to doing well in college. Like, I'm having huge bouts of terror, like huge terror, because I almost, like, if I had stayed at my previous job, me and my husband both, we'd stayed there together all the way up until this time next year, we would have $300,000 in our bank account, because we were making 10 grand after taxes every month, take home pay. And like, we didn't have much in bills, and you know, I had put all 80,000 50,000 within a year that I had made after taxes. I put all that toward the house, and then I had 30,000, and then no longer had the job. And that 30,000 lasted the next year and a half, and then, I mean, it still went way too fast, but I mean, Jesus. So all that went out the window, but I'm at a point where, like, I've got to go to college regardless. So I applied to OU. I'm going to be an OU student, and it's an assured admission. I'm just waiting on early January for them to go ahead and upload the transcripts that I sent in. That was $50 to apply. Have them upload the transcripts so that they can make the class comparison. And I told them, I said, well, I want to be pre-nursing, and I also want to be pre-med. So I'm going to have both of those advisors, as well as go to the financial department and have them try to help out and get as much as possible to be able to pay for everything. I don't know how I'm going to do the living situation, but we're going to be moving to Norman. I'm going to keep this house here because Tommy making money, my mother-in-law lives here, so it's like either sell everything and uproot everything and have nowhere to put all of our crap, or keep the house here, let her stay here because she's living here anyway, and come back on the weekends, and him work up there in Norman, staying with me, because they have student housing for, like, if you're a non-traditional student like I am, your family can live with you, but you don't have to have all the paperwork and stuff to prove that, yeah, they're your family. So he's going to be staying with me up there, and I will not be working while I'm going to college, except for the bachelor's degree. I may do like 1 day a week, maybe. But I'm going to try to work up until maybe June, from now till June, if I can get hired on the hospital. They're still doing interviews at the moment, so I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that I'll get it. Tommy is on and off, feeling okay, and then like being way too worn out because he's doing a lot of labor. I tried to tell him, if you would have just stuck up there with me and not been such a pain in the A. I was trying to support the stress and motivation for two people that were breaking, and it was not okay. I broke hard when I broke. Yeah, no, I was trying to motivate us to be able to go through. I was like, if we would have been able to stay through there, all of this, like, we would already, I could quit right now and still be able to pay for almost all of school. You know, my dream of becoming an anesthesiologist is really, really, really strong. Like, I want to do it so bad. And I'm terrified. Like, what if something happens and I can't, you know, what if he passes away, or all these other things? So I'm like, I'm scared. And I might have to do it. Like, I told him, once I start, because the last few times I went to college and he talked me out of it and had me go back to work or whatever, because we had a lot of stuff going on, I still got upset and I still feel resentment over it. And because it's been 3 times, technically 4, but the first one was my decision. I wasn't ready. The last 3 times I tried to go to college, he talked me out of it and threw a fit until I went back to work. And I told him, this next time, I'm not stopping. I don't care if you want to divorce me or whatever. I mean, we're not going to. I was like, I don't care what your beef is. All of our other bills are paid. There's no more house payment. We can't afford to fix the roof, but, you know, that is what it is anyway. And I'm not going to spend 5 years trying to fix a roof whenever I could spend that 5 years getting a degree that wouldn't be able to, you know, put me toward medical school. And then, you know, okay, 13 years, and then I'd be able to make $500,000 a year. Be able to fix our life. Move out, sell the house, bulldoze it. I don't even care at that point. Sell it for $10,000. That's probably all it's going to be worth. But the roof that's leaking, the cats that have peed everywhere in my house after I told them to stop bringing home cats, all the things that I am very, very, very unhappy about and asked for, like, changes on, and they were not made. There's a lot of issues that need fixed, and there are a lot of things that I've pretty much given up on. So I'm like, I would rather start fresh and go after something than be held back by the things that are upsetting and that are just crushing me on the inside out. So I told him, when I start, you work to hold down the bills, the things that we already have, and my college loans and stuff will make sure that I can have enough food, and I'll be able to share some of that with y'all. I don't know how much, I don't know how all that's going to work. I have no idea, but I'll find out. I will work a tiny bit extra where I can. I will be able to have some money on the side that I can have my business support itself with. And then I was like, once I start, I will not stop. So if you want to run off and go back to home to live with mums, or you want a divorce, or like something happens and it's just me, or I die, I mean, we're out of luck. I'm not stopping until I'm gone. Or like there's nothing else. Like, you're gonna have to make me stop to make me stop. So I was like, we need these changes in our life to be able to make things safe for in the future, because as she gets older and as we get older, we're not going to be able to, we can't even afford if a tire goes out right now. That's a whole month's rent. Like, it's so frustrating. So we can barely afford the food that we eat, and I'm not happy about any extra money that we spend. And like every single day is worrying, like we're probably going to have to not pay the electric bill just to make sure that we have money to eat off of for a couple of months this year, because the electric bill will get up to $600. We'll probably have to shut off the electricity or ask for help on it. And a lot of them only help if you're on a past due notice. So Our house is not well insulated. It's just, I can't fix everything on my own here anymore. And I tried, and after everything that happened, which has happened, I am mending, but I am not capable of catching up. And the only way to move forward is to actually move forward on the things that I was working on anyway, and that's going to be taking out student loans if I have to, which I was not willing to before. But I mean, at least, like, I'm on the positive note is that our lives are about to change, and I'm about to be going to college, which is amazing. And then, like, the bachelor's degree prepares me for a lot of things and has opportunity for jobs, like, right after that pay decent. And, like, I'm excited about it. So this vlog is oh my god, it's at 1 hour and 6. Let me check to see if I have anything else, and then I will. Yeah, I don't see anything else on here that's really important. So it's just basically what I wrote down was future thinking, positive mindset promises, nice quote, which I don't have those yet. I guess change your language, change your life, which is what I've been saying. And then I do have a little thing in here called Dear Me, which is just a random page where I write down something, one line, if I feel like it. Doesn't have to be every day. But yesterday's was everything is meaningful, and it's basically positive reinforcement. And then, well, that was the day before yesterday. And then yesterday was I love feeling excited about writing. So I'm trying to just put like something positive, and it's just like a little line here and there. So it's trying to build and rewire the fear, instead of like look at something that I'm afraid of or that I'm worried about or whatever, and just write something positive. And that way I can just start having, you know, better thoughts and better mindset and stuff. So I'm gonna get off of here and go print some more pages for my notebooks, and I may throw a couple of things at the end of this, but otherwise go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to ever support us, like, I have a GoFundMe, yeah, blah blah blah, that would help us out on at least trying to make it. You don't have to. Biggest support here is literally just like and subscribe and share it with the people. But if you do want any of my artworks or my books or even these cute freaking bookmarks that I made, I make these at home by hand. They're so cute. These are $5. But yeah, if you want to order anything from my shop, it's on 7bloodfire.com/shop. And like, I'd love to, you know, sell a couple of things. That's a way to get something log living. But yeah, you guys stay awesome, shine bright, and don't let life get you down. I'm gonna keep posting. Once again, it's gonna be February 8th. It's gonna be 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the McAllister, Oklahoma Expo Center for the little pop-up shop event. And it's like right before it's Valentine's Day, so like there will be people selling all kinds of really cute stuff. I might do a walkthrough video. I don't know if it'll be live or whatever, but I'll do a walkthrough and kind of chat with some people and show you kind of what's going on there. And that way maybe you'll go to the one after if I'm able to, if she knows the next one. She's wanting to do it every quarter, like every 3 months, and same times of the year or whatever. But oh goodness, I'm getting sleepy. That brisket was good, and I'm freezing. I'm shivering here. I'm gonna go sit on the bed and get my blanket on and get some more stuff printed. But y'all have an awesome day, and love you. Bye.